Good morning, students. How have you been? Welcome to the third week lesson on Practical Research 2. Just a quick review before we proceed to our next lesson. Week 2 module tackled the importance of quantitative research across fields. We have specifically emphasized the importance of research in the fields of science and technology, education, business, engineering, medical, and health and allied services, and anthropology. We have learned that quantitative research is useful in any field where the data involved is quantifiable. Moving forward, this week's topic is on the classifications or kinds of variables. Our learning targets are the following. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to 1. Determine the classification of variables, and 2. Recognize types of variables through analyzing a title. What is the first term that comes in your mind when you hear the word variable? A variable is any factor or property that a researcher measures, controls, and/or manipulates. It is referred as the changing quantity or measure of any factor, trait, or condition that can exist in different amounts or types. Variable is also a logical set of attributes, characteristics, numbers, or quantities that can be measured or counted, also called a data item. Classifications of variables. Variables are classified as follows: numeric variables, categorical variables, experimental variables, non-experimental variables. Variables according to the number being studied. Numeric variables, answer how many or how much. Two types of numeric variables. Continuous variables. Discrete variables. Continuous variables can assume any value between a certain set of real numbers. They depend on the scale used. Some examples of continuous variables are time, age, temperature, height, and weight. Two types of continuous variables. Continuous variables that have absolute zero characteristics, and divisible and multipliable are known as ratio variable. For example, because weight is a ratio variable, a weight of 4 grams is twice as heavy as a weight of 2 grams. As well as zero weight can be the starting point. While continuous variables that takes values along a scale with each point placed at an equal distance, subtraction and addition can be performed are classified as interval variables. For example, IQ test, an individual cannot have a zero IQ, therefore satisfying the no-zero property of an interval variable. The level of an individual's IQ will be determined, depending on which interval the score falls in. Discrete variables can only assume any whole value within the limits of the given variables. Some examples are the number of business locations, number of children in the family, total number of faculty members. Can you tell how many individuals comprise this family photo? That is correct. There are 7 members in all. Always remember that while continuous variables are measurable, discrete variables are countable. Categorical variables answer what type or which category. Kinds of categorical variables. Ordinal variables. Nominal variables. Dichotomous variables. Polychotomous variables. Ordinal variables can be logically ordered or ranked. Example, academic grades such as A, B, C, clothing size such as X, L, M, S, and measures of attitudes like strongly agree, disagree, or strongly disagree. Nominal variables are the types of variables that cannot be organized in a logical sequence. Example, business types, eye colors, kind of religion. Can you tell your eye color? Dichotomous variables present only 2 categories. Example, gender, male and female, answer, yes or no, and veracity, true or false. Polychotomous variables have many categories. Example, educational attainment, and level performance. Experimental variables. Independent variables are usually manipulated in an experiment. Dependent variables are the ones affected by the manipulation of the independent variables. Also called response or predicted variable. Extraneous variables also called mediating or intervening variables. Other sources also call it confounding variables. Non-experimental variables. Predictor variables changes the other variables in a non-experimental study. Criterion variables usually influenced by the predictor variables. Let us examine the following examples. Title of research: Competencies of teachers and students' behavior in selected private schools. Which do you think is the predictor variable? And which is the criterion? The predictor variable is the competencies of teachers, while the criterion variable is students' behavior. Your turn. Can you identify the predictor and criterion from this example? Title of research: The types of facilities, administrators' profile, and parents' support towards school effectiveness among public senior high schools. Here's the answer. The predictor variables are the types of facilities, administrators' profile, and parents' support, since they affect criterion variable, which is the school effectiveness. Today we learned that variables are classified as follows: numeric variables, categorical variables, experimental variables, non-experimental variables. Variables according to the number being studied. We have also recognized non-experimental types of variables by analyzing titles. Thank you for listening.